Hi, it's Dr. Spencer. I thought I would take you, all of us, for a tour of the course. Let's start here in modules 0. There is here a course tour video that was created by Canvas. I haven't watched it in a while. I assume it's still pertinent. Here is my email address, which I would like you all to use rather than use whatever you have over here that says contact the instructor. The reason is that if you use this button over here, you won't be able to send an attachment. So if you need to send me an attachment, it's important to use my email address. So here I am with my darling dog, Dala, named by my young adult son after Princess Amidala of Star Wars. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. I received my PhD in clinical psychology from ASU in 1982. I first started teaching this course in 1981 as a graduate student, if you can imagine. I maintained a private practice specializing in relationship and sex therapy for 25 years. I taught in the classroom for decades and then moved to this online format about 10 years ago. Let's go back to modules here. Oh, that's the old course tour video, which I'm going to replace with this one. Now, when you take your chapter tests and your final exams, you'll be doing it with Respondus Lockdown Browser. That means that you will be videotaped as you are taking your tests. And as I will say on more than one occasion, you are not allowed to use any materials when you take your tests and final exams. Your eyes should be on the screen at all times. Community forum is where we can communicate with one another. I would encourage you all to subscribe by clicking that little flag. This enables the community forum posts to come to your email. It often will carry information that you yourself might have had questions about. If you have a question for me about the course that you think would be pertinent to other students, please post it here. I mean, you're always welcome to contact me directly. And certainly if it's of a personal nature, you're going to be contacting me privately. But otherwise, this is a great place to communicate about any confusion regarding the course. You will have a syllabus and welcome letter quiz that is worth 5 points. These are 5 extra points. They're not included in the many points that are available in this course. It's available to you throughout the entire semester. I would take it as soon as possible. That is, it helps you to learn how to set up the Respondus lockdown browser. And if you have any issues with that, you can get those resolved before your first test, which will be Monday, March 23rd. That is a week after the course starts. The bulk of the course is watching video lectures. And within the video lectures, there are questions at about every minute, a multiple choice question. And about 60% of the, I don't know why this isn't loading, there we go. About 60% of the points available in this course come from the video lectures. All of the questions in the video lectures are also included in the test item banks. That means that you will see those questions when you go to take the test. But in addition to the video lecture questions, the PlayPosit questions, you also will have questions that come from the textbook. A lot of students do not purchase the textbook. I think it shows in their grades often. I would encourage you to purchase the textbook. I'll talk about that in a minute. It's about $50. It used to be about $25, but that gives you online access. And again, I encourage you to purchase the textbook. Course schedule. So the important dates in the course are Mondays and Thursdays. On Mondays, you're going to do your initial discussion board posts. That is, you'll give 3 posts per discussion board. We're covering 2 chapters every week, so that's 6 posts each week. Your first post is worth 3 points, and each of your 2 response posts are worth 1 point. Now, the initial posts are due on Monday, and the response posts are due on Thursday, as are your chapter tests. Now, if you think about it for a minute, it wouldn't make sense to have everything due on the same day. Some students really like to take their time going through other student initial posts before they find one that they like to respond to. So the initial posts come on Monday, and the response posts come on Thursdays. I just said it just the opposite. Initial posts come on Thursdays, and response posts come on Mondays. Monday's a big day. Monday, your response posts are due and your chapter tests are due. And on Thursdays, your initial posts are due. So you have several days of initial posts to look at to formulate your response posts. Now, your video lectures are also due. As you can see, all of this is due the first Monday of the course. We're doing 2 chapters, 1 and 2. Your video lectures are sort of due, and by sort of due, I mean they are soft deadlines. You will have access to all of the video lectures for every chapter up until the very last moment of the course, which is at 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday, May 5th, and you will get full points no matter when it is that you complete those. I create deadlines so that Canvas will remind you to do them in preparation for your tests, but you are not required, but point-wise, but I highly encourage you to do that. So again, Thursdays are initial post days, and Mondays are chapter test days, and response post days, and also sort of your video lectures. But again, I wouldn't try to take the tests without having watched the video lectures. I think they're key to being successful on the tests. So is reading the chapters in the book. I set up a spreadsheet that allows you to monitor your progress. The reason why this is important is because Canvas does an awful job of monitoring your progress in terms of offering you up a letter grade. These are the real letter grades that would apply every Sunday night. Every Sunday night, I post D and E academic status reports. Academic status reports are just a heads up that go to you and to your success coach or your academic advisor. They do not impact your final grade. They are not necessarily predictive of your final grade. But the other strange thing about them is once they are posted, they remain. And by that I mean if you get a D or an E early in the semester, but later on you're not performing in the D or E range, it's important to let me know, because as I go through the couple hundred students, I'm only looking for D or E grades. So I won't be looking for your now much better grade. So I'll remind you of this on Fridays and Sundays to let me know if you've climbed out of the D or E range so that I can change your academic status report. I don't know why they set it up that way. It would seem to me that it gets posted on Sunday night and then expires the following Sunday night, but that's how they have set it up for some interesting reason. Okay, let's go down here. You're going to need, in order to get access to the rest of the course, which I'll show you in a minute, you're going to sign an academic integrity pledge. And in order to look at it, I'm going to have to edit it. No, I don't want to do that. Let's do that. Here, I'm going to edit it so you can see the contents without me switching over and going in as a student, which is what I would have to do in order to show you the content. And I forgot to choose questions. Your chapter tests and final exams are closed book, which means that you may only rely on your memory for the test. Not allowed to use any written or printed material, including your notes, textbook, and are not allowed to use any electronics such as smartphones, tablets, while you take the test. You also must not be communicating with anyone else. To get full credit for your chapter tests and final exams, you must show your ID. Your whole face must remain within the frame of your webcam. Please pay attention to that. Sometimes when you wear a hat, the computer really can't see you so well. Oh, where did that go? Let's go here. If you have to take it in a public place that requires you to wear a mask, briefly pull down the mask at the start of the test to show your whole face, then return the mask to its appropriate place. Strict adherence to ASU's academic integrity policy is expected at all times. Any attempt to cheat on a test, to assist someone else in cheating, or to otherwise compromise academic integrity is considered a sufficient reason for assignment of a failing grade for the course and for sanctions under ASU policies and procedures. Also, you are not permitted to reproduce any testing materials from this course. Any attempt to do so is considered a serious violation of academic integrity and will be treated accordingly. With regards to your discussion board posts, which is really the only time you'll actually be writing, the use of AI is prohibited. Much of the time, I'm simply asking for you to express your opinion about a topic or a matter. I'm confident that you will be able to do that without the use of AI. Okay, let's go back up here and go back to the course and to the modules. Okay, so once you complete the academic integrity pledge, you will get access to the modules. So here we have week 1, which is module 1, which includes chapter 1, as well as chapter 2. And here every week it's the same thing. Here are all your video lectures, the amount of points that are attached to them, the due date, again, soft deadline, soft due date. Then we have your PowerPoints that I used when I created the lectures. If you have access to a printer, it might be helpful to print them out and take notes as you're watching the lectures. It will help you study. Here's your discussion board. You get a discussion board for each chapter. Here's the prompt. And here is your first test. And again, the same thing for chapter 2 and all the other chapters. I want to show you what I make up for you each week. It's an activity tracking sheet. If I were you, I'd print it, but I know you all probably don't like to print anything anymore. So here you have, it says SP21. I keep forgetting to change that date. Here are all the video lectures, the length of the video lectures, the number of questions within. So here you have the total of the points. You have 103 points for your video lectures. You have 5 points for each of your discussion boards. Oh, no, you have 5 points for your discussion board, and then you have 21 points for your chapter test. So 129 points for chapter 1, and again, the same thing for chapter 2. Here are the titles of the video lectures, the length of time, the number of points. Okay, let's go back. I think that's all I need to show you in the modules. Let's go back to announcements. Oh, we don't want those announcements. We want the ones that are not delayed. All of these. Welcome to the course. I hope you find it enjoyable, educational, and stimulating. Wink, wink. The course will require an iPad, laptop, or desktop computer with a camera, as you will be taking the tests and final exams in front of a camera, as I mentioned before. I want to say that other pads that are not iPads will not work with this course. And sometimes, even though they're supposed to, some students are not able to take tests with their iPads. So that's another thing that you're going to want to sort out pretty quickly. If you can't use your own equipment to take tests, many of the computers on campus, if you're on campus, are equipped with Respondus Lockdown browsers, so you could use one of those computers. If you can't and you're not on campus, I'm afraid this course isn't going to work for you. So hopefully, again, you'll look at that quickly, discover that quickly by taking the syllabus and welcome letter quiz, and find out whether or not you'll need to drop this course and find another one to replace it. It's a short course, but a lot of material, and you might have to expect to spend about 18 hours per week in order to be successful. You're responsible for being familiar with all the items in Module 0. All violations of academic integrity will be referred to the Dean's Office, and all requests for deadline extensions will be referred to the Dean's Office. Now, it's important, and when we look at the syllabus, if you are sick, if an emergency comes up and you are not able to make a test or a discussion board deadline, it's important that you let me know prior to the deadline. And then I'm going to have you go to complete a form with the Dean's Office to request an extension. Let's go back to other announcements. I don't know why they have them listed like this. Time for commitment for the course, I already talked about this. This is a great documentary on masturbation. I just sort of throw this in there because I think it's interesting. Foundations of Human Sexual Behavior. I have a Facebook group. I know a lot of you don't do Facebook, but here's where I will post things that come up in the news. So really recent things regarding sexuality, I will make posts there. Discussion board. Here is a description of how to do the discussion board. Again, initial posts are due on Thursday nights. There are usually 3 parts to the prompt. You have to respond to all 3 to get all 3 points. And you indicate your sex and your age with each post. For your response posts, again, indicating your sex and age for each post, you have to find an agree post and you have to find a post with which to agree and a post with which to disagree. And when you are doing your response post, you must provide the exact quote from the student's post you are responding to, and those are due on Monday nights. Tips for success: create a template with your age and sex so you don't forget. Use Word or Google Doc to write the posts and then copy and paste so that you have them just in case something happens and you can't find your original post. But here's how you find your post. It's not as intuitive as you might think. You go to the Discussions tab, you click on the specific chapter, you look right under the instructions questions for the post. There's a search bar with the following: search entries or author. Type your name in the search bar. If your post appears, I can also see your post. And this is written by your friendly TA who will be grading all of the posts. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, this is another DB checklist that was created by a student that I wasn't able to modify. Lin Hyun is our TA for this semester, and that was her email address. And just another little reminder of all the things that are important to do when you do your discussion board posts. Okay, let's see. One should not use the Canvas app on one's phone to determine due dates, or probably other important stuff. They will sometimes give you inappropriate due dates, especially if you are not in Arizona. Don't ask me why, but again, Monday nights are chapter test nights and discussion board response post nights, and Thursday nights are initial post nights. So Mondays and Thursdays are always your deadline, and that will not change. Be the same throughout the semester. There's another important thing, and this will help for Canvas to give you a more accurate grade, but you will have an opportunity on your page somewhere to check this, calculate based only on graded assignments. Now, what this means is that you will get a grade based on only the things that you have done. So if you've only done 5 things when 50 things have been due, but you did those 5 things really well, Canvas will say to you, aren't you doing terrifically? You're getting an A. Well, if you've only done 5 of the 50 things that are due, you're not getting an A. So it's really important not to check this. However, even if you don't check it, Canvas will still do a bad job of telling you what your letter grade is. That's why you use that monitoring progress spreadsheet in Module 0 that I showed you before. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, and again, just a reminder, if you're going to apply to graduate school, it's really important to try and get research experience. Let me go back here. Research experience. You can go to the Department of Psychology website and look for undergraduate research experience and see if you couldn't find a project that would be workable for you. That would be really important if you plan to go to graduate school. And I just threw this in last semester. I thought this was an excellent podcast by Esther Perel on AI relationships. I highly encourage you to take a look at it. Okay, I think that, oh no, we have to go to the syllabus here. Okay. Again, I would encourage you to use my email address. This is the textbook, and this is the link to the textbook. It costs $53.95. You can get a hard copy, but it takes a while for it to show up. But when you pay for the hard copy, you'll also be getting online access. But just to let you know, the hard copy, this is only a 7-week and 2-day course. So if you don't have the hard copy for 3 weeks, I wouldn't be surprised. So we've already talked about equipment, and you need a web browser to be successful. Check the course daily, read announcements, respond to course email messages as needed, complete assignments by due dates, communicate with your instructor and peers as needed, create a study or assignment schedule to stay on track. Now here's a chart with, again, all of the chapters and all of the points that go with the chapters. We talked about that before when we looked at the tracking sheet. And this is the final grade. There are 1,881 points in this course, a lot of points. But you can see here, I just want to point out that you can lose 61 points and still get an A+ in this course. One of the reasons I create so many points is that you should never get to the point where you sort of give up, because there are hopefully still plenty of points available to you to pull off a decent grade. Okay, let's see. Again, if you need a deadline extension, you need to let me know beforehand, and then you're going to click this link and it will take you, it's called an excused absence form, and you will use that to request an extension, a deadline extension, and then they will send both you and I a notice about that. Okay, so modules is really where you're going to spend most of your time. Again, after you complete, that's module 0 with all that information, and then module 00 with your pledge, and then once you do the pledge, you get access to the rest of the course, all of video lectures, PowerPoints, discussion boards, and tests. I hope this has been helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.